Hi everyone, today I am sharing with you my palette collection. I bought my first ever eyeshadow palette around 18 months ago now and became slightly addicted after that because I can really see the benefit of having a load of shadows all in one place when you're creating an eye look rather than fishing through all your singles. So I am sharing this in two parts. Today is my high-end palettes, and then next week I will upload a similar video with all the sort of budget high street drugstore palettes. So for this video I only have 4 palettes to show you because obviously them being more expensive, if they're high end I have less of them. And I'm going to start I think with the first one I got from a high-end brand, and it's the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. It's the original one. I know they've come out with another version, sort of part 2, which is called Semi Sweet I think. But this was actually bought for me as a present by my husband. So it's around the £40 mark, so it is on the more expensive side, definitely. But for that you get 16 colours, 2 of which are bigger highlight shades and the rest are standard eyeshadows. You probably know the draw of the Too Faced Chocolate palette by now, in that it smells of chocolate because it contains cocoa powder, and as soon as you open that lid it does smell really, really good. Packaging wise, it is a bit on the more bulky side, and this isn't very secure. It's slightly magnetised but not very strong, so I might be a little bit concerned about travelling with it. I haven't done that so far. And it has this annoying plastic bit that you put on top that gives you all the names of the colours. I've kept it because I just like to know for reference what the names of the colours are, but I much prefer it when they print them on the back or print them on the actual palette. In terms of the actual shadows though, I can't fault these at all. They're absolutely gorgeous. You can see they're mainly warm colours. There's a few cooler tone colours as well. Good mixture of matte, good mixture of shimmer, a couple of really sparkly ones as well. They're so easy to apply, really, really blendable, and as I said before, the smell, just sitting here with it open now, it's just amazing if you love chocolate. So I've got a couple of favourite shades from here. One of them is Salted Caramel, which doesn't look much in the pan, but it's a matte brown colour, but a really, really warm one that's really, really nice in the crease as like a transition colour or even a bit of a contour colour on your eyes. And another favourite for me is this one. This is called Marzipan. This is much more shimmery, sort of like a bronze, no not bronze, but a gold shimmer, but it's got a little bit of a pink tone to it. Very similar to one of my favourite shadows from one of the other palettes that I'm going to talk to you about. So they're my 2 favourites that I wear most of the time. But in terms of ones that are slightly different from this palette, it's got to be this one. This one is called Candied Violet. It's really glittery. It's purple with little bits of pink shimmer in it. Looks really, really nice on a night out. And the other one I like for something a little bit different is this one. It's called Gilded Ganache. You can see how pigmented they are. So this one is very, very dark brown with a little bit of a forest green tinge to it. And I actually used that on my friend on her wedding day. Because she's got blue eyes, it made her eyes look really, really blue, and it was gorgeous. So they're my 2 most used, and then my 2 favourite for something different in the palette. So overall, great palette. If you love chocolate, if you love the brand Too Faced, if you like really highly pigmented blendable shadows and you don't mind paying around £40, I definitely recommend that one. So the next one I'm going to talk about is from Stila, and it's the Stila In The Light eyeshadow palette. This one costs about £25, so it's the cheapest of all the high-end ones I've got, I believe. So I think it's really, really good value for money. It comes with 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 shadows and a full-size eyeliner as well, which is in black. So considering you get a full-size eyeliner with it, it's even better value. The packaging is probably the only downside to this. I think it looks very cheap. It's sort of just cardboard. It flips up here again. It's magnetised, but it's actually quite a lot stronger than the chocolate bar one. So I probably would be happy to travel with this one, but it is going to get battered a lot. You can see on the back it's got quite a few scratches and dents, but it's made no difference to the actual shadows. I like the fact that it's got a nice big mirror. The one in the chocolate bar palette hasn't got a very big mirror actually, so I tend to use a separate one, which is a bit annoying, but nice big mirror in a palette is definitely a plus for me. And as for the shadows, this is definitely my most used palette, and I don't think you can even tell because it's not really got too many dents in it, but it's just one of those palettes that I know I can make a look out of no matter where I'm going, what I'm doing, what the occasion is. It's got all these neutrals over here with a couple of glitters. It's got a couple of more bold ones here, and just one colour, this blue one. But so I suppose it is more on the neutral side. It's not one of those ones for a really dramatic bright eye look, but I still find you can make loads of different looks out of it. So my most used in this one are definitely Kitten, which is a bit of a cult classic when it comes to Stila. It's so, so shimmery, gorgeous sort of champagne-y colour, a little bit similar to the one that I showed you in the chocolate bar palette. And the other one I use in here a lot is Bliss. Again, a bit like the other one in the chocolate bar palette, it's a matte colour, but it's kind of a purpley brown that looks so gorgeous in the crease. I think it suits a lot of different skin tones as well. In terms of colours that I don't use as much, but I think are nice in the palette in terms of being a little bit different, one is this one. It is the Night Sky. I don't tend to wear much blue on my lids, but if you were to wear blue, this is a really gorgeous, deep sort of, it's kind of a deep baby blue, isn't it? It's not quite navy, it's not quite royal blue, but it's got a little bit of shimmer in it. And I also love this one, Sunset, which is really bronzy, but I don't wear this very much, but I just love the way it looks. It's a bronzy coloured, shimmery colour again. Again, quality of them is amazing. I find the pigment really good, really blendable. Not much fallout on these as well. So overall, Stila in the light palette is definitely my one for out of everyone that I would take away as a favourite if you're watching and interested in buying any yourself. Next up is the Urban Decay Vice 3 palette. This is my most lusted after palette. When I saw this on someone's YouTube channel, it was an American YouTuber, I can't remember her name, but I fell in love with it straight away. It comes with this pouch which zips up, so that makes it pretty good for travelling, or you could use this for something else if you wanted to take makeup brushes away with you or something. Inside the packaging is not to everyone's taste, I don't think. It's very reflective, sort of quite gaudy in the colouring, but I like it because it represents quite well what's on the inside. Because on the inside is these beauties. Absolutely gorgeous range, really bright colours, but still with some neutrals down the side as well. 24 shades there are in this one, and this costs around £42. So again, on the more expensive side, but if you know Urban Decay shadows, you know that they are really good quality. Huge massive mirror as well, so that's a plus for me. Again, a little bit bulky, so I suppose it's not, you know, the most compact travel one, but it's definitely one that I get out on a night out because I know that I'm going to be able to find something different or to go with any outfit that I'm wearing. The downside to the formulas, I would say, is that there is quite a lot of fallout on them, but once you've tapped off your brush, really blendable, really pigmented again. So my most used from this palette, and you're going to see a theme because in each palette my two most used shades are really similar to each other, but this is one of my most used shades. It's called Last Sin, and again it's another gorgeous champagne-y shimmery colour, very similar to Kitten. And another one I use in this a lot is Alien, which doesn't look like one that's really wearable necessarily straight away in the pan. It's a pink colour, but that looks really nice on the lids, just even on its own. If you just want to wear a really simple pink eye look, then that comes out really lovely on the lids. So as for a couple in here that I think are different from the other palettes that I've got and don't necessarily use them all the time but still think they're really gorgeous, one is this one. It's called Freeze. It's like a turquoisey shimmer, reminds me of the film Frozen, so I love the fact that it's called Freeze. But I've worn that with this one, which is called Heroine, which is a really deep navy blue, but more on the matte side. Those two together, I know that looks really dramatic, but I've worn them in like a smoky eye look on New Year's Eve, and I really like the way that turned out actually. So those are my two favourites for something different in there, and my two most worn. Also worth mentioning actually, the brush that comes with it is pretty decent. It comes with a two-sided brush. It hasn't really got a crease part, but it's got like a flat brush and a more fluffy brush, which I do actually use, so if you take this away and don't take any other brushes with you, it's still going to work. Finally, technically this is not a high-end product, but I included it because it is sort of in the same price range, I would imagine, as the ones I've just shown you. So it's from No. 7, which I know is obviously from Boots and therefore technically drugstore, but it is on the more expensive side of a drugstore brand, in my opinion. Well worth it though, and I got this as a Christmas present, Christmas just gone. It's called the No. 7 eyeshadow palette. And it says it's created with 20 of their favourite No. 7 shadow colours, which all come from either quads or trios that you can buy separately, and it's all listed on the back which quads and which trios they come from, so that's useful because I'm pretty sure it's limited edition and I don't think you can buy it all of the time, but they do bring things out like this in the Christmas season, so it's worth looking out for. Beautiful, gorgeous mirror, lovely rose gold packaging, and as I said, 20 shades, which again are quite varied, which I like. There aren't many matte shades, so if you're a matte lover, then probably No. 7 shadows aren't going to be your thing, but they do have really varying levels of shimmer. There's some of them that have a very subtle shimmer, some of them that have a standard shimmer, and some of them that are full-on glitter, basically. So, formula-wise, I love No. 7 shadows. They are not quite as pigmented as the other three palettes that I've just mentioned, but good enough still, definitely buildable, very, very blendable, no fallout, really, really good quality and really soft and buttery. So as for my most two used shadows in here, one of them is something that you may find very, very boring, but it's a really lovely highlight colour if you're not into shimmer, because this has got a very, very tiny amount of subtle shimmer. It's great for under the brow bone and it's great for in the inner corner as well. Only thing I don't like about these shadows is they don't give them names, so I can't tell you what each one is called, but that's from the bottom left of this palette. Another much used one in this is another neutral brown. And again, it's a great crease colour because again, you probably can't even see on the finger swatch, but it's got a very, very tiny bit of shimmer, so you can still get away with using it in your crease, and it's a great transition colour for lots of different looks that you're going to do. And as for a couple of shades in here that I think are great, I don't use them all the time, but I think they're nice and different and they make the palette stand out from other palettes. One is this coppery colour, and this looks gorgeous during the autumn season, but it's and it's much more gold on that finger swatch, but it's a very gold copper colour. When it comes out on the lids, it's much more orange toned, so I love that one. And another one which I think is gorgeous is this black one. I suppose it's black. It's black, the main part of it is matte, and I don't know how well you can see, but in it is shimmer, and the shimmer is red and gold, so on your lids that looks phenomenal. So love those four from that palette. So that's my tiny collection of high-end eyeshadow palettes, but I do think it's more than enough, although I don't anticipate that that's where I'm going to stop. So I hope you found it useful. If any of those are palettes that you are interested in and have been considering buying, hopefully my opinions on them has helped you with your decision. Let me know in the comments if it has. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up as always, and subscribe for weekly videos. I'll see you next time. Bye!